Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Minor Mountain, where tonight the sectional championship will be decided as the number 1, two-time defending Class AA state champion Chapmanville Tigers take on the number 5 ranked Logan Wildcats, looking to unseat them here in the rubber match between these two teams this season. Hello, friends, and welcome high above here in the broadcast area. Chris Kidd with you, alongside me, James Barker, with Terry Buckaloo back in the WVOW studios. Joe Mounts here with us on video productions, and Demi Adkins, our camera person here for tonight's broadcast. And James, Game 1, Logan shocked the entire state by blowing Chapmanville out 72-61 at Willie Acres Arena. Game wasn't even really that close, and then Chapmanville comes back in Game 2, and without Obina and Chile killing it throughout the entire second half, hold off Logan to defeat them 60-55, and now the big crown sits in front of both of them. Who wins this? Who gets to host a regional final next week?
And it's a big game for both clubs because the loser presumptively would have to travel to Poca and play Alan Osborne's club at Poca unless they're upset tonight by Winfield. But that remains to be seen. But nobody's thinking about that tonight, Chris. They're thinking about it's Logan, it's Chapmanville, bragging rights on the line for this rubber match. It's like Apollo and Rocky, and at the end of Rocky 3, ring the bell, ding, ding, ding. Let's get this thing going.
And you know what? People have been lined up outside the door since about 5 o'clock today, waiting to get in throughout this snow and rain that's been pouring down here today on Minor Mountain. And, you know, it's been jam-packed ever since we got through the doors here today. So it's a sold-out venue here for this sectional championship contest. Well, we're going to step aside for a 2-minute break and be back right after this as you are listening live with us right here on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports radio station, and live on video productions.
Peyton, what are we doing here?
Welcome to Peytonville. Nationwide helps protect everything you see in here, Brad. Every family, every business, even Mrs. Hoffman's dream of retiring to become a yoga instructor.
Oh, they have backstories.
Here, I got more to show you.
Hurt in a car wreck, this is one room most people want to avoid.
It's a courtroom.
Insurance companies know that we work to get the best settlement before court. But if they won't pay up, our work is here.
It's about your health, your money, and your pain and suffering.
What you get matters. And our fee?
No worries. We don't get paid unless you do.
Hurt in a car wreck?
Call Farmer Klein and Campbell.
Because around here, you matter.
Call 252-5990.
Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services, founded in 1975 by Riley Joe Evans, is a full-service funeral provider, and 2020 makes it 45 years of offering services that respect all faiths, personal preferences, and financial considerations. They're the only funeral home in Boone, Lincoln, and Logan with its own crematory. Contact Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 304-855-3232 or visit www.evans-funeral-home.com or like Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services on Facebook to see their updated obituary information.
Patrick Ellis and his staff at Southern West Virginia Physical Therapy has been providing patients with quality physical therapy since 2003. At Southern West Virginia Physical Therapy, they are committed to providing their patients with exceptional care in a compassionate and friendly environment. You're not just a number, you're part of their family. Southern West Virginia Physical Therapy, your health, your choice, our priority.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here for the start of the sectional championship game as the pregame introductions getting set to get underway along with the national anthem. We'll wait to see which comes first, as it looks like Logan going to be introduced here, James. So while the introduction's underway, what do you see as the Logan Regional Medical Center keys to the game for tonight?
Yeah, for Logan, this is a game that they really don't want to speed Chapmanville up. We have seen teams try to speed Chapmanville up, and it has not worked very well, Chris. And for the Tigers, they've got to control the glass.
Well, those are your Logan Regional Medical Center keys to the game, and the key to your health care is with Logan Regional Medical Center, offering care for every stage of life, from the Women's Center to pediatrics and primary care physicians. Logan Regional Medical Center, always here for you. We'll be back in 1 minute here on WVOW and Video Productions. Stop looking at me.
Peyton, what are we doing here?
Welcome to Peytonville. Nationwide helps protect everything you see in here, Brad. Every family, every business, even Mrs. Hoffman's dream of retiring to become a yoga instructor.
Oh, they have backstories.
Here, I got more to show you.
Hurt in a car wreck, this is one room most people want to avoid.
It's a courtroom.
Insurance companies know that we work to get the best settlement before court. But if they won't pay up, our work is here.
It's about your health, your money, and your pain and suffering.
What you get matters. And our fee?
No worries, we don't get paid unless you do.
Hurt in a car wreck,
Call Farmer Klein and Campbell.
Because around here, you matter.
Call 252-5990.
Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services, founded in 1975 by Riley Joe Evans, is a full-service funeral provider, and 2020 makes it 45 years of offering services that respect all faiths, personal preferences, and financial considerations. They're the only funeral home in Boone, Lincoln, and Logan with its own crematory. Contact Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 304-855-3232 or visit www.evans-funeral-home.com or like Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services on Facebook to see their updated obituary information.
Patrick Ellis and his staff at Southern West Virginia Physical Therapy has been providing patients with quality physical therapy since 2003. At Southern West Virginia Physical Therapy, they are committed to providing their patients with exceptional care in a compassionate and friendly environment. You're not just a number, you're part of their family. Southern West Virginia Physical Therapy, your health, your choice, our priority.
Welcome back, everybody. Chris Kidd and James Barker here with you, getting set for play introductions from the sectional finals. And James, we'll elaborate a little bit here on our keys to the game before we ended up taking that last break.
Yeah, Chapmanville sometimes feeds off of teams speeding them up with their great guard play and Andrew Scholl and Philip Mullins and their ability to run the floor. That's something that Logan cannot have happen tonight. They've got to control possessions. They cannot turn the ball over like they did against Scott in the first half of that contest, Chris. If they can limit the number of possessions in this game, they're going to have a chance to knock off Chapmanville and become Region 4 Section 2 champs. For Chapmanville, they need to get some outside shots to fall early. We have seen them play with a little bit more confidence here in the last month. And I think if they get their shots to fall early from the outside, you'll see Obina take over from the inside. And they have to control the glass. They have a height advantage with Obina on the inside. And in the second game, even though Obina was out of that game, we saw contributors like Hunter Jeffrey and Chase Berry come in off the bench and help Chapmanville rebound. Very important for them to do that tonight. And if they can do those things, they'll be the sectional champ.
And again, these are two teams that have been scoring at will as of late as well, James. Again, 71 points per game for Chapmanville, 67 points per game on average for Logan. Defensively, both very strong. Chapmanville limiting teams to just 50 points per game on the year. Logan at 57 points per game, and they both come in red hot. Logan has won 6 in a row and 15 of their last 17 games, only losing to Webster County by 3 in overtime, Wesley Christian in overtime by 3, and also losing to Chapmanville 60-55. On the other end for Chapmanville, they've won 12 straight since they last lost to Logan, and Logan was the team that ended Chapmanville's 54-game winning streak against West Virginia teams. So now we get set to go here tonight. It'll be Logan in their all-blue uniforms with white and gold trim with white lettering and white Logan across the chest. Chapmanville in their all-white uniforms with orange and black trim down the sides and orange CRHS and white CRHS across the chest. So this is about as fun as it gets, James. We've had this for the last several years between these two. This is the last time for the next few years, unfortunately, with the alignments. So, folks, get ready to enjoy it. It's round 3. It'll be Obina and David Early to jump it up in the center circle. These two Goliaths do battle for what could be the final time against each other. We're glad you're with us tonight on WVOW and Video Productions as Chapmanville controls the tip. They will be going left to right across your computer screen and radio dial from our angle, Logan from right to left. as Philip Mullins on the left wing, guarded by Noah Cook. Out to Brody Dalton at the top of the key, gets it to Scholl off a screen. Now back to Mullins. Mullins at the top of the key, picks up his dribble, goes to Obina left side. Obina drives in on Hayner, puts up the floater, count it for Obina, and we're underway with Chapmanville on the board first.
Yeah, Obina able to get into the paint and get that shot up, and just the length of Obina makes that an easy shot and score for the big man.
They get it to Slack on the right wing. Slack was so huge the other night, hitting those 3 3-pointers in the second half against Scott as Early curls off a screen, goes for 3, no good, can't bank it in, but Slack gets the offensive rebound. Back up top, Early, over to Hayner. Hayner back to Early at the top of the key, tries to drive in on Smith, pulls back for 3, no good, in and out, and rebounded by Obina.
Interesting that Slack gets the start. Now, he got the start when Early was out hurt, but normally that's a spot where Jaron Glick gets the start, but Slack so hot in that Scott game, Zach Green is going to stay with the hot hand.
Now Obina steps back. He'll go for 3, and he hits from the right wing, and Obina out to 5 quick points, and it's 5-0 Chapmanville.
And he is playing with some fire and intensity tonight.
Now here's Cook on the skip pass over into the left wing. Now out to Williamson. 6:35 going in the first quarter. Chapmanville with the quick start, 5-zip. Now to Cook. Cook looking as Williamson runs to the other side. Now Early comes out to help as he's out near midcourt. Picked up by Philip Mullins, and Mullins will likely be the man that shades Early most of the evening. Early steps back, gets some space, goes for 3, no good off the back iron, and Obina tears down another board.
And that's 2 big misses for Early on those 3-pointers, Chris, and we've seen Obina make 2 shots.
Now here's Scholl. He's been hot as of late. Fadeaway jumper, and Andrew Scholl banks it in. He had 30 the other night in the win over Man, and that's going to draw a timeout from Zach Green, a full timeout. So we'll step aside here with Chapmanville leading 7-0, 6:01 to go in the first. Actually, a 30-second timeout. So we'll keep things here. And just a reminder that Nationwide Insurance agent Greg Dalton is a proud supporter of Chapmanville Regional and Logan High School athletics and the community of Logan County. For auto, home, life, and business insurance, call the Greg Dalton Agency at 304-855-4906. Greg Dalton Insurance with offices on Main Street in Chapmanville and Main Street in Logan. For all your sides, there is Nationwide. This is WVOW Logan. Well, already here, James, Early being forced to take deep threes in the first 2 possessions. Chapmanville's been able to get some switches their way and get some open looks, and thus far Chapmanville 3 for 3 from the floor.
Yeah, and Chris, those first 2 plays for Logan were designed for David to take those threes from the outside. Couldn't get them to go, and now Logan in a little bit of a hole right now, and Chapmanville trying to speed up the game with some pressure, full court pressure, and a 2-2-1 press.
And again, both sides with some young players in this game as Cook, left corner 3, no good, can't get it to fall, and rebounded underneath by Obina. So it'll be big to see how these young players respond on both sides here tonight. Scholl off a screen, goes for 3, no good off the side of the rim, but rebound comes out long to Isaiah Smith. They'll reset with Obina. He'll drive in on Hayner, gets in early, almost picked his pocket, but they're going to get him on the foul instead. And it looks like they're going to signal 2 shots for Obina and a Chile Killer.
Yeah, that's Early's first personal foul, our first foul of the game, Chris. And anytime David Early picks up a foul, that is an issue for Logan because he's just a guy you cannot replace off the bench. As we look at our Kensal Law replay on that, as Early was guilty of getting Obina on the wrist. But Obina missing the first. So, again, Chapmanville has started hot. Got that offensive rebound, and Obina at the line for these second chance points.
So Obina's second free throw up. This one good. Again, he had 19 points in the first game against Logan, 8 in the second whenever he left with dehydration. The other night had 11 against Man, but was 2 of 7 from the line, but he sinks his second. So 8-0 now. Chapmanville as Hayner drives in right side, gets in, lost the ball on the way up, and out of bounds off of Brody Dalton.
He had a good help defense there from Obina as he came in late, kind of baited Mitchell Hayner on that drive there. Hayner wearing 44 tonight, as that's the number his grandfather wore as well.
So they said they couldn't find his jersey, but thankfully that's a good sign maybe for him this evening as Early gets it on the left side, slips and falls, but looks like they say he got some help from Philip Mullins as they signal Mullins for the foul.
And that's another player on the floor that when he picks up a foul, Philip Mullins, it's tough on Chapmanville because he's so great with the ball in his hands and an on-ball defender.
5:10 to go in the first quarter. Logan yet to score as Chapmanville's jumped out 8-0. They get it to Hayner, right corner, jumper on the way, and Mitchell Hayner gets Logan on the board with his first bucket.
Good slip screen there by Hayner, able to hit that shot. And now maybe that calms the nerves for the Wildcats.
And Hayner had 12 points and 7 points in the 2 games against Chapmanville this year. Obina gets to the free throw line. Tough jumper, but hits it over top of Hayner as he's come out red hot. He's got 8 points now in the first quarter, and it's a 10-2 Chapmanville lead. Early cutting in, but intercepted on the pass from Hayner as Mullins stepped in. Now up ahead to Scholl. Big three from the left wing. No good off the back rim. Long rebound, though, comes out to Smith. Now to Dalton. They'll reset top of the key with Obina. Obina's going to step into a three. Off the back iron, no good, and Early rips away the rebound. But he has it stripped away. Taken back by Mullins. He'll go up. He misses the layup. Rebounded by Williamson. Knocked free, and now whistling a foul underneath. And this could be on Mullins, and this could be huge if it's on him. That would be number 2.
I believe they did signal that on Philip Mullins, so we'll see the sophomore Colton Craddock check in for him. We may not see Mullins for the rest of the first half with the way Brad Napper likes to keep his players out of foul trouble. So it'll be an interesting turn there for the Tigers.
Yeah, he made a nice steal off of Early and then missed the layup underneath and then committed the foul after. So 10-2 Chapmanville. Out front is Williamson, but now Chapmanville will rely on another youngster in Colton Craddock. As James just mentioned, checking in. Now they go down to Early, and a foul committed by Isaiah Smith. And you see Logan immediately going to the different matchup now that Mullins is on the bench.
Yeah, and they're going to try to keep going at the guy that is guarding Early because Logan feels like they are deeper than Chapmanville. They play a lot of players, so smart strategy by Zach Green right now.
They get it to Williamson, left corner. He's open for 3, and Garrett Williamson able to connect to draw Logan within 5 at 10-5.
And Brad Napper not happy about Williamson not being challenged on that shot there.
Now here's Scholl, gets it to Isaiah Smith. He'll take a left corner 3, and Isaiah Smith hits. So back-to-back freshman threes ignite both clubs.
A big shot there from Smith on the answer.
13-5 Chapmanville. 3:30 to go in the first quarter as Williamson steps in, now kicks it out to Hayner, top of the key for Early, guarded by Scholl now, gets a little separation. Now Early drives in, gets into the middle, puts up the shot short, rebounded though by Early, goes back up, this time able to connect as David Early gets his first 2.
Yeah, strong, tough work ethic there from Early underneath, able to get that rebound and the putback. And we can now see these two teams starting to settle in to this game, Chris.
And Early had 24 points and 28 points in both games against Chapmanville this year. 13-7 Tigers, under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter as Obina looks to the Chapmanville bench to get the play and just holding the ball under his arm right now before now Hayner comes out to start the 5-second count. Obina starts his dribble, drives in, spin move into the paint, had it blocked away, but Craddock gets the loose ball out to Dalton. He'll take a jumper from the free throw line, and Brody Dalton able to connect.
Big shot there from the freshman. Brody not asked to score a lot, but he hits that huge 15-footer.
15-7, Chapmanville leads it as Hayner drives in right side, gets by Obina. Layup is good for Mitchell Hayner as he gets all the way to the 10.
Great move by Hayner, using his body, his backside to shield Obina from the block to make that layup.
2:15 to go now in the first quarter. 15-9 Chapmanville. Smith in the left corner. Kicks it back up top for Obina. Again, he'll wait, get everyone in position as Hayner approaches him. Now Obina going to work, dribbles over to his left, gets an open look for 3. No good this time. Rebound tipped out. Still loose on the floor and Early able to corral it for the Wildcats. Now here comes Williamson up ahead to Hayner. Hayner on the left wing, driving in on Dalton, gets inside, had it poked away by Dalton and stolen. Now here comes Smith back the other way. Isaiah Smith out front. His pass intercepted by Slack. Up ahead to Hayner. He's underneath. Scholl catches up, rejects him from behind. Hayner gets it back, can't finish, but he's fouled on the play, and he'll go to the line for 2.
And Brad Napper upset at Smith there. That was just one of those passes, Chris, that he didn't have to make. As you look at our All-State Good Hands replay, Slack able to find Hayner underneath off the steal, but Mitchell not able to make that shot. Would have been a big play in this game to maybe cut it to a 1-possession game. Right now, Hayner just trying to make some foul shots here to cut it to a 4-point lead.
And he's got 5 points now as he hits on the first. And that's going to be number 2, I believe, on Isaiah Smith as well. So if you got Smith and Mullins both in foul trouble now, again, we'll wait for clarification on that. His second free throw up, and this one good as well for Hayner.
We'll see Cameron Hensley check into the game for the first time tonight against Chapmanville. He had came in against Scott in the first half and had some issues, got a technical foul, but then played really well in the second half for the Wildcats as they pulled away.
So Obina drives into the middle. Let's see if they count it. Yes, and one, as Cameron Hensley tried to take the charge, but he was there late, and they give Obina the and one. And Cameron Hensley's going to play hard defense. He's going to likely foul out in almost every game he plays, but that kid does not hold back. He tries to draw charges, tries to create strips and opportunities, and right there was just a little late getting in on Obina.
Yeah, you can see he slid his feet just a little late, as you mentioned, Chris, there on our Kinsel Law replay, and Obina able to get the bucket.
And he gets the and one. On the other end, Early step back three as he hits the ground, and David Early hits his first outside jumper, 18-14, as both teams continue to match each other. Now Obina in the middle, 1:10 to go in the first. He'll drive in on Early, lost his footing and lost the ball into the corner, though. Craddock chases it down for Chapmanville. Back out to Obina, drives inside, whistle, and this time the charge is called on Obina. As that standing in was Garrett Williamson in taking the charge.
And right now for Brad Napper's ball club, the only true point guard they have on the floor is Andrew Scholl, as you look at our replay here, and that was a good call. Obina in the air, feet were set by the Logan player. Couldn't see exactly who it was, but it was a good call by the officiating crew. And Logan, who started off cold, Chris, now with a chance to cut this to a one-possession lead.
Again, Chapmanville jumped out to an 8-0 lead, but Logan has settled in as Early drives in, gets the floater up over Obina and gets it to go. He's got 7. 18-16 now in favor of Chapmanville. 37 seconds left in the first quarter as Logan now going full court pressure. Craddock and Scholl working it up. They're up against the 10-second count here. They get it over to Smith, though, at the last minute. Now Smith has it poked away from behind. The pass up ahead, knocked away by Scholl, but into the hands of Williamson. Now over to Early. 20 seconds left in the first. Early skips it cross court. Cook goes for the lead. Short air ball rebounded by Obina underneath with 15 seconds. Now they'll give it off to Scholl as Chapmanville will hold for the last shot. Down to 8 seconds as Scholl on the left wing. Down to 5. Scholl dribbles towards the top, looking for a screen, brings it back left side with 2 seconds. Turnaround jumper at the horn. Count it for Andrew Scholl. And that will do it for a phenomenal first quarter of action as Chapmanville leads Logan 20-16. Back after this as you are watching the sectional finals with us right here on WVRW and on Video Productions.
You need to see a doctor fast? At Logan Regional Medical Center Primary Care Walk-In Clinic, we know your time is valuable. Our new facility is designed to provide patients with the opportunity to walk in and quickly be seen by the doctor without having to make an appointment. We are open Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. at 384 Airport Road in Chapmanville. For more information, please call 304-239-8090.
Peyton, what are we doing here?
Welcome to Peytonville. Nationwide helps protect everything you see in here, Brad. Every family, every business, even Mrs. Hoffman's dream of retiring to become a yoga instructor.
Oh, they have backstories.
Here, I got more to show you.
Well, for my money, James, that was the best first quarter we've seen all year as Chapmanville leads Logan 20-16. Chris Kidd and James Barker with you, but both teams, James, just executing flawlessly almost in the first quarter.
Yeah, Chapmanville jumped out to that early 10-2 lead, and then Logan able to fight their way back and make this a 4-point gain going into the second quarter. And really, Chris, I know there's 2 other teams playing right now in the state of West Virginia that may have a chance to have a different say in it, but these 2 teams play like they're the best 2 teams in the state right now.
Logan to start out the second quarter with the ball. Slack in the right corner, gets it out front for Williamson. Williamson back to Slack. Again, Logan going right to left across your computer screen and radio dial, and Chapman going left to right from our angle as Early dribbles in, cut off, gets it over into the corner for Williamson. He'll drive baseline, throws it, hits it off the side of the basket. Logan retrieves it. Slack gets it out front for Hensley. Hensley back to Early, pump fakes on a 3, now drives into the middle, goes up against his Marshall teammate Obina, and Obina swats it out of bounds.
Wow, Obina. This is a zone defense, Chris, with Obina at the top of the key playing zone. He challenged the shot to make Early not shoot the 3, then he comes all the way down in the paint for a huge backside block.
And again, you figure both these two, they'll be excited. They don't have to guard each other anymore after this year. They'll be on the same team next year. As Hensley over to Early on the left side. He'll drive in baseline, pump fakes on Barry, puts it up over top of Obina, but high floater won't fall, and rebounded by Obina.
And that's just a shot there, Chris, that Obina changes because he didn't go for the head fake that time of David.
Scholl gets it to Colton Craddock. Again, Phillip Mullins on the bench for Chapmanville with 2 early fouls. They get it over to Scholl on the left wing. Back up top for Barry. Barry back to Scholl. Scholl gets to the right elbow. Pull-up jumper off the mark. Rebounded, though, by Craddock. He'll bring it back out. Scholl left alone. He'll go for 3. No good off the left side. Rebounded underneath by Williamson. Now here comes Williamson up the floor, racing into the front court. Over to the left side. Cut off by Craddock. Now Williamson trying to get it back up top. Able to find Cook with 6:35 to go in the first half. Cook picked up by Barry. Over to Slack on the right wing, guarded by Scholl. Now to Early. Early drives in right side, and a charge on David Early, and that's going to be number 2 on him now, James. So 2 big stars with foul trouble here in the first half.
Chase Barry, the Duke Blue Devil Jr. product there, Chris. He just knows how to take charges anytime at any point in the game. And Chase does an excellent job there of stepping in front of Early and getting his second. The difference between Logan and Chapmanville, though, is Early can play with those 2 fouls. It's hard for Mullins to play with 2 fouls, though, Chris. So they're going to leave Early in because of the offensive threat that he has. And Logan will just have to live or die with it.
And also Barry, he was the one that took that charge at the end of the Scott game that saved the game for Chapmanville, or else Scott would have pulled off that upset at Scott earlier this year. So now Scholl with the ball on the right wing, 20-16 Chapmanville. Over into the left corner for Obina. Drives in on Hensley, stops. Tough fadeaway jumper, won't fall, but Isaiah Smith on the boards for Chapmanville. Back out front, Obina will reset and find Scholl.
Yeah, we had a high-scoring first quarter, Chris, and here after 2 minutes, no score in this second quarter so far.
As Obina drives baseline, goes in on Early, can't hit, and a charge called on Obina, and that's going to be number 2 on him now. And that was dangerous for Early to stand in there underneath the basket like that. If that would have been 3 on him, that would have been huge trouble.
Yeah, you look at your Kinsel Law replay, Chris, and let's kind of take a hard look at this. And I think Early does the right thing. Right there, feet were set. It's a charge on Obina. He picks up his second, and Brad Napper will sit him here at the 5:49 mark of the second quarter. So a group out there for Chapmanville right now with just 3 starters in Smith, Dalton, and Scholl.
So now Early going to try and go to work. Gives it over to Hayner on the right side. Hayner picks up his dribble, skips it over to Hensley. Hensley finds a lane, drives into the middle, and Cameron Hensley lays it up and in.
And that's the thing that Logan started to do at the end of the game in their second meeting when Obina was out of the game, is they started attacking the middle because Chapmanville's shot.
Oh, and Cameron Hensley collided hard with Chase Berry that time, and Hensley took the worst of it as he commits his second foul. But he is lying on the ground right now. Again, it looks like he hurt his chest running into Berry at full speed.
And we see this on video productions, instant replay. Oh, just maybe got the wind knocked out of him there, Chris. I hope that's all that happened because he landed on his back, and sometimes that can cause the air to go out of your lungs like that. And he's laying there for just a second, but he seems to be conscious and aware of everything that's going on. As they'll see Noah Cook check in for him. And always a scary sight when you see a kid stay down for this long.
Yeah, I'm like you. Sometimes you just run full steam like that. Berry was set and looked like he kind of planted himself bracing for impact, and Hensley didn't have that luxury. And now it looks like Hensley's starting to get his bearings back around him as Coach Steve Browning and company and Brandon Browning now trying to get him to roll over here on the floor, and now they're going to help him to his feet. And thankfully Cameron Hensley looks to be walking off under his own power at the moment. So yeah, like you mentioned, James, hopefully just getting the wind knocked out of him as he goes to the bench with his second foul.
He seems to be okay. All the movements there, obviously, as he's walking off under his own power, and believe he just got the breath knocked out of him. And you mentioned it, Chris. Chase knew that contact was coming. He went up to grab the basketball almost like a receiver in football, and Hensley was trying to go after the ball and just did not see exactly where Berry was.
20-18 Chapmanville as we go back to action. 5:13 to go in the second quarter. Again, Obina and Mullins both with 2 fouls on the bench for Chapmanville as Scholl drives baseline, tried to kick it into the corner but kicked out of bounds. And it'll stay with Chapmanville as Brody Dalton checks in now for Hunter Jeffrey. And 16 fouls against Chapmanville, 14 fouls against Logan. So next foul by Chapmanville put Logan in the 1-and-1. Scholl looks to inbound, still looking, able to get it to Craddock in the left corner. Back out front for Dalton. And if you're Chapmanville right now, you got to kind of figure they're trying to eat time to try and buy time for Obina and Mullins on the bench as Scholl drives in, gets a little separation, tough jumper, won't fall, rebound knocked around. Craddock there again on the offensive boards for Chapmanville.
Yeah, you're right, Chris. This is almost like Chapmanville just trying to survive to get into the third quarter of play.
Scholl can't connect on that jumper. He wanted to try and draw a foul, but couldn't, and now here comes Early. Early drives in the middle, jump steps in, whistle. Can't get the bucket to fall, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2 as Brody Dalton going to be whistled for the foul, and that'll put Logan in the bonus.
I mean, we saw that up and down pace there in the first quarter, Chris. We have seen 2 points here in the second quarter of play, and we're almost halfway through. Logan scoring the only 2 points so far, Early at the line trying to cut it to 1 and does.
He's got 8 points now for the ball game. Again, in game 1, Logan was 15 of 23 from the free throw line. Chapmanville was 16 of 30. Game 2, Logan was 8 of 13 from the line. Chapmanville was 14 of 22 as Early misses on the second. Rebounded underneath by Chapmanville as they've led the entire way of the Tigers, but Logan has seized the momentum with Obina and Mullins out with foul trouble at the moment. Down to 4:21 to go in the first half. Over to Barry on the right wing. Barry looking for help is Early on him. Now to Scholl, and Scholl really the biggest offensive creator on the floor right now for Chapmanville as he gets it over to Dalton. Dalton trying to drive in, almost lost it against Hayner, but finds Craddock. Craddock steps in, gets it to Smith in the left corner. Logan just playing hounding defense right now. Smith up against the 5-second call, and there it is as Garrett Williamson rode him like a horse all the way around the floor and would not let Smith get away. Excellent defense by Garrett Williamson.
Yeah, and right now, Chris, we'll see Preston Smith check into the game as Isaiah Smith takes a seat. But Chapmanville with only 2 shooters on the floor with Scholl and Smith. Everybody else, they don't shoot from the outside, so the spacing for Chapmanville needs to be important. And Brad Napper just trying to get it going right now.
Slack goes for the lead, top of the key, no good on the 3, and Preston Smith chases down the rebound, and Brad Napper calls for time with 3:43 to go here in the first half. We'll keep things here. It's just a 30-second timeout. But yeah, James, again, after that onslaught in the first quarter, both teams really ratcheting up their defense, but Chapmanville really has no one but Scholl to score on the floor right now with Mullins and Obina out in foul trouble, and it's really shown because Logan is really coming after them strong on the defensive end.
Well, Chris, when you don't have Phillip Mullins, you lose your second point guard with him and Scholl out there together. You know, now you have only 1 point guard with Scholl, and the third best ball handler on the team, you could argue, is Obina Anachili Killen.
Yeah.
So when you lose your 2 of your 3 primarily ball handlers on the floor, it becomes really hard to run your offensive sets, and Chapmanville's struggling right now on the offensive end because they just don't have those guys that can handle the basketball and take it to the basket.
So it'll be fascinating to see how long Coach Napper elects to keep his 2 on the bench. I'd say as long as they're in the lead or within striking distance, he'll stay with this. And now inbound pass stolen by Williamson, drives in, can't get it to go, gets it back, and we get a whistle.
They're going to call a walk, and that's the right call. I know the Logan fans are not going to agree with that, but Williamson shot that ball as it looked like he lost it, but he shot it and he caught it, and that's an automatic walk. So that's the right call from this officiating crew.
Now this time they do get it into Scholl. He'll race up the left side. Almost lost it from behind. Hayner got a hand on it. Now Scholl gives it to Craddock. Craddock on the right side tries to split 2 defenders and gets a foul called here as he gets inside. And I believe they're going to get Garrett Williamson on the foul.
I was talking to Brad Napper the other day, and he talked about Colton Craddock being one of the best athletes on this team, and he really likes what he sees in the young sophomore. And, you know, that's one thing that Colton needs to understand at this point in time in the game. Hey, I'm out here. I need to look to score at times, at least try to drive and draw some fouls.
Chapmanville still clinging to a 20-19 lead here. Under midway left here in the second quarter, 3:23 to go as out front Preston Smith gets it to Craddock. Craddock against Williamson, kicks it to Barry, and it's kicked away by Early, so it'll stay with Chapmanville as they'll inbound from in front of the Logan bench. And right now Chapmanville is scoreless here in the second quarter. after putting up 20 in the first quarter. And Logan only with 3 points thus far here in the second quarter. Scholl.
If you're Brad Napper right now, Chris, you're just kind of trying to run out this clock.
Scholl gets a nice drive all the way into the basket, and Andrew Scholl able to get the layup to go. He's got 6 points.
The first points of the second quarter for the Tigers coming at the 3:09 mark.
Early fights his way inside. What a scoop by David Early as he gets all the way to the rack, and he's into double figures now with 10 points.
We saw Early do that when Obina was out there in the second half of this second meeting between these two clubs.
And now Craddock double team, needs help, finds Brody Dalton. Now over to Preston Smith. Smith in the right corner, gets it out front for Dalton, spins away from trouble, and a foul going to be called on Mitchell Hayner. That's going to be team foul number 6 on Logan.
Yeah, Hayner just a little too aggressive there going after that ball play in the passing lane. And Dalton did a good job of shielding the ball away with his body.
Down to 2:38 to go here in the second quarter, and Chapmanville still holding their lead. And right now, Brad Napper trying to see if he can buy the final 2 minutes and 38 seconds of this half with 2 of his horses on the bench in foul trouble. Scholl's going to go for 3, no good from the right wing. Rebound in the corner, knocked loose, and there's Colton Craddock again. Over to Scholl, left wing 3. This time he gets it to fall. And now quickly, Early races into the front court, drives in left side, and a block, and counted in the foul for Early. As that's going to go on Chase Berry, I believe, and that'll be his first.
Yeah, we mentioned in that second meeting with Obina out of the game, it's a good job of Early recognizing no rim protector, nobody going to be able to stop me if I go to the basket, and right there, able to finish with his left hand at the rim. And an answer to Andrew Scholl's 3.
Early has 12 points now in the game. Hunter Jeffrey into the game for Chapmanville. Again, he was the hero for Chapmanville in that second game. He came off the bench and scored 9 points in Obina's absence as Early gets the free throw to go. That lead back down to 1. We're down to 2:11 to go in the first half. Scholl able to escape a double team, drives in, is hammered hard from behind that time. It's either going to be against Slack or Cameron Hensley. That was a hard foul as Scholl will go to the line to shoot 2.
Scholl a little Marshawn Lynch-esque right now, putting the team on his back, though.
And that's going to be on Cameron Hensley, and that's going to be number 3 on him. And like we said, Cameron Hensley comes in and plays reckless abandon on the defensive end, and he's going to use his fouls. And thus far, he's picked up 3 thus far in the first half as Scholl hits the first. He'll now head to the bench again. And, that's one of those things. If they can teach Cameron Hensley to play controlled defense, I mean, he is going to be one of the toughest defenders in the state of West Virginia as Scholl hits both.
Scholl has had all the points for the Tigers here in this quarter with 7.
27-24 Chapmanville. 2 minutes now to go here in the first half as they get it to Slack in the left corner. He'll drive to the middle. Now back to Early. Puts up the jumper in the lane, and David Early on fire here in the second quarter as he knocks down another as Scholl and Early just going back and forth at each other. Now into the middle, Isaiah Smith. Smith over to Dalton on the left side. Dalton lost control of the ball, chases it down, tries to throw it off of Hayner, and successfully does so it'll stay with Chapmanville with 1:38 left in the half.
A heady play there by Dalton after he lost the ball and Hayner trapped. I think Brad Napper was trying to take a timeout, but Dalton able to throw it off the foot of Hayner.
Scholl will inbound it to Dalton with 1:35 to go now in the first half. As Dalton drives to the right side, fakes a handoff, gets all the way inside, up and under layup, and what a move by Brody Dalton as he gets his 4th point. Now a back up head quickly. Logan beats the pressure, and Aiden Slack gets back for an easy 2. And right now, Logan scoring at will on the offensive end, and Chapmanville started to pick it up again as well. Scholl. Lob pass over for Dalton in the corner. Had it knocked away by Early, and they say last touch by Dalton out of bounds. It's Brad Napper furious with the call, thinking it was out off of Early.
Yeah, Brad wanted that call right there. Chapmanville has clung to this 1-point lead for a long time here in the second quarter of play.
Now into the middle, Cook kicks it out to Hayner. Hayner drives in right side, gets inside, and a whistle, and a charge called on Hayner, and that's going to be number 2 on him now.
I sound like a broken record right now, Chris, but I think this officiating crew is doing a really good job because Hunter Jeffrey right there slid his feet, stood his ground, then the offensive player initiated the contact first, and that's where you get that charge. And a big, big call for Chapmanville to try to kind of get out of this first half with Obina and Mullins on the bench with those 2 fouls.
Again, Mullins went to the bench early in the first quarter with 2 fouls. Obina went to the bench with about 5.5 minutes to go here in the second quarter with 2 fouls, and Chapmanville's been holding the fort, but Logan continues to make the push here as Scholl, tough fadeaway jumper, can't get it to go, knocked out of bounds, and last touch by Smith. It'll go over to Logan with 50.6 seconds left in the half.
We'll see Barry check back in here probably for Smith to provide just a little bit more defense for the Tigers. So we'll see Isaiah Smith check out because he has those 2 fouls. So that's that offensive-defensive substitution Brad does so well. Both teams do so well.
As Preston Smith will guard early, full length of the court here. Logan still looking for their first lead of the game as they send a triple team at him. Glick gets free. He'll go for 3. No good from the left wing. Rebounded by Dalton. He'll get it to Scholl with 35 seconds. Scholl into the middle, had it knocked away from behind by Glick. Now here comes Logan back, and we get a whistle and a travel on Jaron Glick in the Logan section. He rubs. Can't believe the call, and it'll go back over to Chapmanville.
I don't know if Glick got his wrist held or just lost the ball. We couldn't see it quickly on the replay as we'll see Hunter Jeffrey check back in. It's a great play defensively by Glick. He waited for Scholl to have that pocket picked, and you can't really get a good vision of it here on the replay, but it does look like maybe Chapmanville got away with a reach in there.
So they'll inbound it to Jeffrey, now to Scholl. We'll see if Chapmanville is able to try and hold for one here. They have the possession arrow on a tie-up as Scholl, wow, what a split between a double team. Gets inside, puts up a tough shot, no good. Dalton on the rebound, and Brody Dalton puts it back up and in.
Big basket for Chapmanville.
Down to 13 seconds. Early, it drives in right side, goes into a double team and
Absolutely.
a charge.
The right call.
It was, again, there were 2 men there waiting on that call. And that's a huge play there because that's number 3 on David Early. But both men were set for at least a couple of seconds there. It was just a matter of who he was going to run over. And that's a big call against Logan going into the half.
And Early knew as soon as he left his feet for that jump stop that he was going to draw contact, and it was most likely going to be a charge. Generally, if a player doesn't feel like that they had the charge, they will come up and defend themselves. Early knew right away.
Well, now Mullins into the game with 9 seconds left. Here comes Chapmanville, last chance of the half, over to Craddock with 2 seconds, back to Mullins. He'll pull the trigger at the horn, no good off the back iron, and that will do it for what has been a breathtaking first 16 minutes of action here from Mingo Central High School as the Chapmanville Tigers hold the lead at 31-28 heading into intermission. Well, James and I will step aside for a 2-minute break, and when we come back, we'll talk about everything that's gone on here in the first half of action as you are watching and listening to the sectional championship game with us right here live on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports radio station, and live on Video Productions.
You need to see a doctor fast? At Logan Regional Medical Center Primary Care Walk-In Clinic, we know your time is valuable. Our new facility is designed to provide patients with the opportunity to walk in and quickly be seen by the doctor without having to make an appointment. We are open Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. at 384 Airport Road in Chapmanville. For more information, please call 304-239-8090.
Kinzel Law Office is a local firm located at 36 Adams Street in Chapmanville. Rob Kinzel has been practicing law in Logan County for over 15 years and is dedicated to providing quality legal representation for personal injury, criminal defense, and family law for individuals and families throughout southern West Virginia. Call Kinzel Law Office today to set up your free consultation. Rob Kinzel, quality legal services close to home.
I'm Bill Wooten. I'm running for our Supreme Court. I said our court, not those with money and power, our court.
Labor and business, Democrats and Republicans, they're all
If I didn't think I was the most qualified to serve, I wouldn't run.
This one's easy.
I'm Bill Wooten, and I promise to serve you with honor.
Little General Stores knows West Virginia, but what some may not know is what LG is doing in your communities. And I'm here to tell you how Little General, with the strength of their 100-plus stores, is helping to enrich lives and empower families in West Virginia. Like the Norma May Huggins Cancer Research Endowment Fund, which is fighting to cure cancer every day right here in West Virginia. Locally owned and operated, LG has always been there and always will be. Little General Stores, committed to West Virginians. Boom!
Welcome back, everybody, here to Minor Mountain for the sectional championship game between number 1 Chapmanville and number 5 Logan. And thus far, it has done anything but disappoint. As Chris Kidd here with you, alongside me, James Barker, Demi Atkins, our camera person, Joe Mounts, our engineer on video productions, and Terry Bucklew back in the WVOW studios, as Logan trying to unseat Chapmanville, winners of the last 4 sectional championships and 5 of the last 6. But you kind of feel like maybe there was a bit of a missed opportunity there in the second quarter for Logan, James, with Obina and Mullins both out with 2 fouls each, and Chapmanville was able to still maintain the lead and only lose the second quarter by 1 point, and Early picks up his 3rd foul.
Yeah, that early third foul is really one of the biggest points of this game, and we're going to look at probably moving forward in the next 16 minutes, Chris. But, credit Chapmanville. Andrew Scholl really did a great job of handling the pressure. At 27 points, Andrew had the only points for Chapmanville in the quarter, and then Brody Dalton adds 4 points later on to get him to 31. But for Chapmanville to be able to hold off Logan there in the second quarter, that has to be a win for the Tigers. Logan could never get over that 1 point hump. It was always a 1 point lead for Chapmanville. They had a possession once. We saw Glick miss the 3. They got the ball back after the Glick miss on the steal, but then Glick was called for that travel. That may have been a reach in, but nevertheless, Logan unable to really capitalize on the foul trouble of 2 of Chapmanville's big stars.
Yeah, and right now, you look at even at with Early's foul trouble, I mean, what does that do for Zach Green here? I mean, obviously, you're not going to sit Early. I mean, you really can't afford to right now in this type of a game, in this type of atmosphere. I mean, he's going to have to try and play through it, but this is going to maybe really disrupt the way he wants to play offense right now, because Chapmanville's lying in wait, trying to get that charge on him. Didn't work out a couple times, and Early was able to get the block and get the and one, but Chapmanville's going to try and lure him possibly into that. Does Early have to go more to a step-back game at this point, pull-up jumper? Because, you feel like this third quarter, if he picks up his 4th, that's going to be a really, really sensitive moment for Logan then.
Well, let's analyze why Early was attacking the rim in that second quarter. It's because Obina was on the bench. So Obina comes back out into the third quarter. Early's game is not going to go back in at Obina. We saw how that happened one time when Obina rejected one into the stands. So I think Early is going to play that outside mid-range game here in the third quarter of play, not drive to the basket. It's probably something Brad Napper has mentioned to his club in the locker room. But when you go back on the other end, it's been Early that has been the controlling guy in the middle of the paint. We have seen him on defense take a charge tonight on Obina. We've seen him challenge shots from Chapmanville in the paint. So what does Logan do defensively now? Because Early is their biggest player inside. What do they do, especially with Cameron Hensley with 3 fouls, to stop Chapmanville's interior attack?
Yeah, again, that's a big point to make as well. Again, you look at the foul trouble on both ends. Obina, Mullins, and Isaiah Smith all with 2 fouls for Chapmanville. Early and Hensley with 3, and Hayner with 2 for Logan. So this third quarter might be more of a filling out quarter for both teams, just trying to keep this close. You feel like Chapmanville feels like they're maybe going to come out and go for an attack kill here in the first few minutes like they did in the first quarter, where they jumped out 8-0. Because now Obina, who's played well thus far with 11 points before he had to go to the bench, he got going quickly. Mullins hasn't really gotten to the flow of this game yet because of the foul trouble he picked up right away. So it'll be fascinating to see how both sides elect to come out, whether they're going to be more careful or if they're going to go just balls to the walls like they did in the first quarter whenever this game was 20-16 after the first period.
Yeah, you mentioned the filling out part. Both team stars with foul trouble. Does Logan pull back? Do they increase the tempo and put Early as the back guy instead of the middle guy in their 2-2-1 pressure? Does Chapmanville decide to try to speed up the tempo to get Early to pick up his 4th foul, going in recklessly at the rim? What a great chess match between 2 great teams here. We can talk about this for the next 2 minutes, Chris, but when we come back from a break, we're going to find out what Brad Napper and his coaching staff has decided to do and what Zach Green and his coaching staff have decided to do. Who's going to be the unsung hero tonight? That's the big question, because each game has had one. When you go back to Logan's win, it was the young freshman Garrett Williamson that hit some shots early on that really got Logan going, and their defense as well. In the second win, it was Hunter Jeffrey for the Chapmanville Tigers. Who's the unsung hero tonight for one of these ball clubs?
Yeah, again, it was Logan's bench at first game outscoring Chapmanville's bench 32-0. That helped them gain that win. And as you mentioned, Jeffrey off the bench for Chapmanville doing it. Could it be another bench guy that gets it done tonight? Could it be one of the stars that steps up? Either way, we've got a dandy on hand coming up here. The first 16 minutes were spectacular. Can't wait for the next 16 coming your way here in just a couple of minutes. We'll step aside for a 2-minute break and be back for the start of the third quarter right after this, as you are listening to and watching the sectional championship game between the Tigers and the Wildcats right here on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports radio station, and live on Video Productions.
No regrets. If only she'd parked in a garage. If only they had the chimney cleaned. If only they had Erie Insurance. Erie is seriously good insurance that treats you fairly and goes above and beyond to make you feel like your auto or home mishap never happened, at rates that'll save you as much as the other guys. So get a quote from Erie today. Because whatever your regrets in life, your insurance company shouldn't be one of them.
Shop Thornhill Ford Lincoln on 119 in Chapmanville, your full-service Ford Lincoln dealer. Go with Thornhill and expect the best in total value, service, and pricing on your next vehicle. Home of the Thornhill 10120, you'll get total support with Thornhill Ford Lincoln.
Do you need to see a doctor fast? At Logan Regional Medical Center Primary Care Walk-In Clinic, we know your time is valuable. Our new facility is designed to provide patients with the opportunity to walk in and quickly be seen by the doctor without having to make an appointment. We are open Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. at 384 Airport Road in Chapmanville. For more information, please call 304-239-8090.
Coach Bob Huggins here at your local Little General store. As I travel this great state, it's nice to know that almost anywhere I go, there's a local Little General nearby. So the next time you're on the road, look for the Little General sign and tell them Hugs sent you.
Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services, founded in 1975 by Riley Joe Evans, is a full-service funeral provider. And 2020 makes it 45 years of offering services that respect all faiths, personal preferences, and financial considerations. They're the only funeral home in Boone, Lincoln, and Logan with its own crematory. Contact Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 304-855-3232 or visit www.evans-funeral-home.com or like Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services on Facebook to see their updated obituary information.
Chris Kidd and James Barker here with you from Minor Mountain as we get set for the start of the third quarter here from the sectional championship game between Chapmanville and Logan, as Chapmanville leads it 31-28. Well, looking at the first half scoring rundown, David Early leads all scorers with 15 points, followed by Mitchell Hayner with 6 points, Garrett Williamson with 3 points, Aiden Slack and Cameron Hensley each with 2 points. On the other end for Chapmanville, Andrew Scholl and Obina Anachille Killen lead the way with 11 points each, followed by Brody Dalton with 6 points and Isaiah Smith with 3 points for the Tigers.
Do have an update from Poca and Winfield, and I'm sure this is probably finished by now, but Poca 9, Winfield 5 at the half.
Oh, my Lord.
Alan Osborne back to his old tricks, Chris.
I was going to say, sounds like the Four Corners has made an appearance tonight. So, yeah, we'll try and see if we can get any other scores as the evening goes along. Again, so many big matchups going on around the state tonight. None bigger, we feel, than this one right here. As Chapmanville will have the ball to start the third quarter. They'll be going left to right from our angle across your computer screen and radio dial, with Logan going, right to left for Chapmanville and Logan going left to right. As Scholl dribbling around up top as they run down a few seconds here before they get into their action, as Scholl dribbles over to the right side, goes inside for Obina, sidesteps, goes to the middle, pull-up jumper, and Obina picks up where he left off in the first half as he's got 13.
Yeah, he kind of made the motion and said he can't guard me inside there.
As Early dribbles in again, he's got 3 fouls. He's got to be careful here as he picks it back up top. 33-28 Chapmanville as Williamson dribbles to his right, gives it to Cook. Cook back out top for Early. Now over to Slack. Slack had a look but decided not to take the 3. Now to Williamson at the free throw line. Pull up jumper, and Garrett Williamson able to connect.
Williamson really smooth stroke and a good shot there from about 15 feet away to get Logan back within 3.
33-30 Chapmanville. 1 minute gone here in the third quarter. As Dalton gives it back over to Scholl. Scholl with now Noah Cook on him. Scholl gives it over to Phillip Mullins. Mullins guarded by Slack on the right wing. Now to Dalton at the free throw line. Drives in on Early. Early has to let him go, but Dalton can't finish the layup. Rebounded by Early. Early takes it up the center, gets some separation, drives in on Obina, kicks it out to Williamson. Williamson into the left corner. Slack goes for the tie. No good, off the side of the rim. Rebounded by Obina.
That was a shot that Slack hit against Scott when Logan was down 7 in the third quarter. Slack nailed it, cut it to 4, then hit another one to cut it to 1. It's a shot for the freshman that he'd like to have back.
Obina now, he'll go for 3. Looked like it was blocked a little at the top of the key, but maybe not. And it's going to be out of bounds off Chapmanville, they say. So that time he just left it short, and that'll give it back to the Wildcats. But yeah, Slack was so huge the other night against Scott. Had 14 points in that game, including those 3 3-pointers whenever Logan was down 8, and things seemed like they were getting dire for the Wildcats, and Slack may have saved them. Early pass intercepted by Mullins. 4-on-1. Lob pass up ahead and intercepted by Early. He was 1-on-4, and Early comes up with a steal. Bounce pass over to Slack. Slack can't handle it, and taken away by Mullins as both teams miss golden opportunities. Now here Smith drives in right side, gets the layup to fall.
Wow, back-to-back turnovers for both clubs there. You thought Chapmanville was going to get an easy layup there, and Early with the steal, and then it was a Mullins pass up ahead, and then now a big pull for Early.
No good from the left wing for 3, but yeah, rebounded by Mullins. You saw Chapmanville tried to get that lob past Obina. It was just short of the mark, and a great play by Early, but then Chapmanville comes back on the defensive end and makes a key play themselves. So it's Tigers by 5 with 5:13 to go in the third. Over to Scholl. Dribbles to the top of the key. Now to Smith. Ball fakes on a 3. Gets into the paint. Slips, and they're going to call him for a travel.
Yeah, he picked up his dribble after he tried to fake there going back inside, and that's a good call by this officiating crew who has been really good tonight for both clubs.
Yeah, this is state tournament crew right here tonight at Mingo Central, and we have had a great game thus far. It's Chapmanville still leading by 5. Hayner looks to cut it to 2. No good from the right wing. Rebound fought for and lost out of bounds as Mullins couldn't corral it.
Yeah, great effort, though, by Slack on the backside rebound. Really got up and over Mullins there and kind of tipped it around, and Phillip unable to grab it.
4:52 left in the third quarter. Chapmanville leads at 35-30. Inside pass. They go to Hayner, now to Early. Early, though, cut off by Obina. He'll dribble back into the right corner. Early, ball fakes, now drives baseline on Obina. Kicks it out front. Over to Slack on the left wing. Slack can't get inside on Smith. They'll reset at the top of the key now with Williamson.
Good defense from the Tigers there. Both collapsing on Early, forcing the kick out.
Now here comes Early, drives in, reverse layup, can't get it to go. Rebounded underneath by Mullins, and I think he saw Obina at the last second. So now here comes Mullins across the timeline. Mullins looks for Obina, gets it on the right wing, now to Dalton. He'll take the left elbow jumper, and Brody Dalton has been huge tonight for Chapmanville. He's got 8 points now.
A mid-range game for Dalton has been good, and Chapmanville starting to extend their lead here in the third.
Largest lead for either club was 8. Logan yet to lead here tonight as Cook dribbles to the free throw line. Now over to Hayner on the left wing, 37-30 Chapmanville. Hayner now picks up his dribble, finds Williamson as he'll retreat back towards midcourt. Down to 3:45 left in the third as Brad Napper slaps the floor, wanting defense, almost a steal that time. Early gets in the left corner for 3, and a big 3 for Logan as David Early with 18 points now.
Yeah, an absolutely huge shot for the Wildcats. Needed it there from Early, who just got a little space and was able to make the shot.
Now up ahead, Dalton gets it in the right corner, tries to go in on Early, whistle, and a charge called, and that'll be a foul on Dalton, number 2 on him.
Yeah, and if you're Brad Napper, you don't mind that foul. Dalton going after Early there, tried to get the block called on David and pick up his 4th would have been a huge call, but David able to put his feet right there and draw the charge.
And that's the first foul on either team in the second half thus far. Slack, right corner, dribbles in now, gets off a ball fake, can't get off the shot as it misses off the side of the rim and rebounded by Mullins. Now here's Scholl. Scholl into the middle, pull-up jumper inside the paint, and Andrew Scholl now with 13 points.
He does such a great job, such a graceful shot, able to hang in the air and ever so slightly release it just a little bit later to the outside of the defender's reach.
Now Slack on the right wing, back up top to Williamson. 2:45 left in the third quarter. 39-33 Chapmanville. We are here for the sectional championship, and Obina with a steal. He's out ahead, drives in, slam dunk for Obina and a Chile killing as Williamson gave chase, but couldn't catch up in time as the Chapmanville side going crazy right now, and Logan in danger territory at the moment, trailing by 8. Now up ahead to Cook. Drives in on Obina, gets it into the corner for Slack. Slack can't find an opening. Skip cross-court pass for Hayner. Hayner, a lot of body contact, nothing called. They get it over to Early, 2:12 to go in the third. Early, step-back jumper as he hits the ground, and David Early able to hit.
On a big steal off the inbound, Chris.
Now Early goes for three. Got it! What a transition for Logan after it looked like Chapmanville had gotten control. 5 quick points for the Wildcats. Now up ahead, here comes Mullins as both these teams slug it out back and forth. Mullins to the baseline for Obina. Dribbles back up for top, 1:45 to go in the third. As they battled themselves to a standstill here in the third quarter. We're back to where we started, and Cook almost with a steal as he jumped the passing lane, and it'll stay with the Tigers.
Man, what a series of shots there for the Logan Wildcats. So look at our replay here on the Obina dunk. But those two shots, and Logan able to cut the lead to 3 after Chapmanville had jumped it out to 8. Just a huge turn of events.
And again, you get that Obina dunk and the Chapmanville side going crazy, and then Early hitting an unbelievable fall away as he hit the ground, and then the big steal on the 3. Again, just a great job by the Wildcats fighting back when Chapmanville looked as if they were gaining control of this game, but the Tigers have still led the entire way. And now we go back to action as Scholl inbounds into the backcourt to Smith. 1:33 to go here in the third quarter. Scholl up against Slack. Waiting, and now gets it over to Obina on the left wing, picked up by Hayner. Obina dribbles back out. Now over to Mullins. Mullins cut off by Dalton that time as they got some spacing issues. Now to Smith. His pass deflected by Cook, but finds Mullins anyway. Mullins dribbles in. He's yet to score tonight. Now to Smith. He'll go for 3. In and out, no good, but Brody Dalton on the boards. Again, Chapmanville's been so big on the offensive glass tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of our Logan Regional Medical Center keys to the game. If Chapmanville could out-rebound Logan, especially on the offensive end, it was going to be a good night for the Tigers.
41-38 Chapmanville, final 48 seconds of the third quarter. Mullins on the right wing. Still waiting, looking inside for Obina. He's guarded by Hayner. Obina looking to go to work here. Spins baseline. Here comes Early to help, and Obina's shot off the front rim, no good. Rebounded by Williamson. Now a chance here for Logan.
They may hold for 1 here, Chris.
Logan also has the possession arrow to start the fourth quarter at the moment. We're down to 25 seconds left in the third quarter. Early guarded by Mullins. Again, neither one has picked up an extra foul here yet in the third, thankfully. As Early over to the right side with 13 seconds as he puts Mullins in the position he wants him in. And now Zach Green will call for time with 11.1 seconds left here in the third quarter. Well, just a reminder that Nationwide Insurance agent Greg Dalton is a proud supporter of Chapmanville Regional Athletics and Logan High School Athletics and the community of Logan County. For auto, home, life, and business insurance, call the Greg Dalton Agency at 304-855-4906. Greg Dalton Insurance with offices on Main Street in Chapmanville and Main Street in Logan. For all your sides, there is Nationwide. This is WVOW Logan. So now James, final possession of the quarter. You have to figure Early is going to get the look, but you could also get a sense here, if he could penetrate and kick out, Chapmanville's going to converge on him. Someone could be open here, and you might want to try and see if they can set up Garrett Williamson.
Well, if you're Chapmanville, you almost kind of want to bait Early into driving into the paint, either try to pick up that charge, get him to get his 4th foul before the fourth quarter starts, or just give him a scenario where it's so late that he has to make either the shot or a late pass into the corner.
11.1 seconds left here in the third. Chapmanville leads it by 3 as Cook will inbound, gets it into the backcourt for Williamson. Over to Early, about the same spot where he was a moment ago. Early gets some separation, goes for a deep 3. We're all tied up! heading to the fourth quarter as David Early with a monster finish to the third, an 8-0 run for Logan. We'll be back in 60 seconds as you are listening to the sectional championship game with us right here on WVRW and on Video Productions.
GM Superstore is your full-service Buick, Chevy, and GMC dealer. Go Thornhill and expect the best with total value, service, and pricing on your next ride. Home of the Thornhill 10120. You'll get total support with Thornhill GM Superstore.
Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services, founded in 1975 by Riley Joe Evans, is a full-service funeral provider, and 2020 makes it 45 years of offering services that respect all faiths, personal preferences, and financial considerations. They're the only funeral home in Boone, Lincoln, and Logan with its own crematory. Contact Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 304-855-3232 or visit www.evans-funeral-home.com or like Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services on Facebook to see their updated obituary information.
In the market for a newer pre-owned vehicle, Thornhill Auto Group is here for you. Shop any of our 4 locations, open 7 days a week, and home of the Thornhill 10120. Don't overpay. Let Thornhill save you more on your next purchase. Go Thornhill and enjoy the easy drive to savings.
Season series is tied 1 game apiece. Game is tied 41 apiece, and we've got 8 minutes to decide the sectional championship here from Minor Mountain. Chris Kidd and James Barker with you, and Logan James with a chance to take their first lead of the game on this trip. Early, they go up against Obina, gets it into the corner. Cook for the lead. There it is as Logan on an 11-0 run.
That momentum has definitely shifted in this building. Let's see if the 2-time defending state champs can find a way to answer Logan on this big run.
Again, Chapmanville has won the last 4 sectional championships and won 5 of the last 6. Logan trying to unseat them here tonight. Up top for Obina. Gets it over to Mullins. Again, it was 41-33 Chapmanville after the dunk by Obina, but then Early has gone off here in the last couple of moments as Scholl up top looking for a screen, gets one over to the right. Hayner picks him up. Now Scholl drives baseline, kicks it out to Craddock. Now to Obina. He'll go for the tie. No good. Short. Rebounded by Early underneath, and a foul against Chapmanville under the basket.
Not a bad foul for the Tigers as they were trying to get that jump ball there. And right now Chapmanville just struggling to find their shot from the outside. Good defense by Logan here in this second half so far on those perimeter shots.
Now here's Williamson. They break the pressure quickly. Williamson over to Early. Under 7 minutes now to go in the fourth quarter. 2 team fouls against Chapmanville, none against Logan thus far here in the second half. As Early trying to set up Obina, drives over middle, 3-pointer up. No good off the back of the iron. Rebounded by Dalton underneath.
Chris, some things may change. The last update we got from Winfield from Poca is that Winfield leads Poca 25-24 in overtime right now with 1:34 left.
My goodness. And then what a change that would be if Poca is upset tonight. Obina, step back 3 from the corner, and he hits.
Well, Dan D'Antoni is happy about this last 3 minutes of play. Both his Marshall recruits stepping up large here in this one.
44-44 with 6:10 to go as that ends an 11-0 Logan run. Up top for Cook. Now to Hayner on the right wing. Hayner drives in on Dalton, gets all the way in, and Mitchell Hayner muscles his way inside to give Logan the lead back. 46-44. Now Mullins drives across midcourt into the right wing. Now to Dalton. Free throw line jumper. In and out, no good. Obina crashes the boards, and they're going to get him on an offensive foul.
Obina crashed hard there, and he was the one that initiated the contact. That picks up his 3rd foul. We have another update from Poca. 27 all into double overtime.
Wow. Again, this section and region has been wild and crazy all year long. And right now, here tonight, it's playing out like about you would have expected. As Logan with a 2-point lead. Hayner drives in, gets bumped, and they're going to get a foul or a push here. Looks like on Chase Berry, and that's going to be team foul number 4 against Chapmanville.
Well, Chapmanville there, Berry extending his arm just a little bit on Hayner, and they called that foul. I didn't know if they're going to call the foul on Berry or the walk on Hayner, but they called the initial contact on Chase.
Now 5:38 to go in the fourth quarter. 46-44 Logan. Early in the right corner. His fans on their feet now on the Logan side. Early one-on-one against Obina. Gets it over now to Slack. Left corner for Williamson. He'll drive baseline. Gets the angle. Can't finish on the layup. And rebounded underneath by Mullins. Again, a good drive there by Williamson, but just couldn't get it off the glass. Now Mullins, who's still yet to score tonight for Chapmanville. Over to Obina. He'll drive left baseline. Spins in. Kicks it out. There's Barry. He'll take a jumper from the free throw line. No good. Rebound into the corner. Comes down to Hayner. Now Williamson will set it up. Gives it off to Early. Early into the middle. Spins in. Lost control, but kicks it out to Williamson. Now to Cook. Drives into the middle, and we get a whistle and a travel against Logan.
Yeah, right there, Cook took the jump stop, then another step, and that's where they got Logan with the travel there. As we'll see Isaiah Smith check back in, this time for Barry. So Chapmanville has trailed for the first time here tonight, only by 2, Chris. You got to find a way, if you're the Tigers, to get some points out of this possession.
4:53 remaining in the fourth quarter. 2-point lead for Logan. Again, Chapmanville led for the first 3 quarters. Logan taking their first lead here in the fourth. Scholl over to Obina on the right wing. Obina, now we got a whistle and a timeout here by Brad Napper with 4:38 left in the contest. As it'll be, let's see, a 30 or a full for Brad Napper. Hasn't signaled yet it's a full, so we'll step aside as well as you're watching and listening to the sectional championship right here on WVOW and on Video Productions.
GM Superstore is your full-service Buick, Chevy, and GMC dealer. Go Thornhill and expect the best with total value, service, and pricing on your next ride. Home of the Thornhill 10120. You'll get total support with Thornhill GM Superstore.
Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services, founded in 1975 by Riley Joe Evans, is a full-service funeral provider. And 2020 makes it 45 years of offering services that respect all faiths, personal preferences, and financial considerations. They're the only funeral home in Boone, Lincoln, and Logan with its own crematory. Contact Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 304-855-3232 or visit www.evans-funeral-home.com or like Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services on Facebook to see their updated obituary information.
In the market for a newer pre-owned vehicle, Thornhill Auto Group is here for you. Shop any of our 4 locations, open 7 days a week, and home of the Thornhill 10120. Don't overpay. Let Thornhill save you more on your next purchase. Go Thornhill and enjoy the easy drive to savings.
46-44, Logan leads Chapmanville with 4:35 remaining in regulation. Chris Kidd and James Barker here with you as Chapmanville with the ball looking to tie or retake the lead. Scholl on the right wing, guarded by Slack, gets a screen. He'll go for the lead. No good off the back iron. Rebound ripped away by Early. Up ahead to Slack. He gets behind the defense. Mullins giving chase. Slack wins the race to the basket. 4-point Logan lead. 48-44 as we close in on the midway point of the fourth quarter. Now here comes Scholl across midcourt. Gets it off to Dalton. Dalton looking, finds Obina. Obina guarded by Hayner. Now to Mullins. Mullins steps back. Tough two-pointer. No good. Rebound knocked loose. Taken away by Early. And right now, Logan's defense is just suffocating. Chapmanville cannot seem to get anything going on the offensive end. As Early into the middle, drives in, kicks it in the corner, open look for 3, no good by Slack, rebounded by Obina.
Man, that may have been a dagger if Slack could have hit that one to put Logan up by 7. See if Chapmanville can finally answer with a bucket on their end.
That's the thing, Logan's getting really good looks. Chapmanville struggling to find them as Mullins fouled and knocks down the jumper. Was it a 2 or a 3? It's a 3 and a chance for a 4-point play.
Wow. Can this game get any better, Chris? We're going to have an epic finish. The scoreboard says 51-44. It's 48-47. They'll get it fixed. Don't worry. You can relax.
And that was, I believe, was that Hayner on that foul that jumped out? I think it was Hayner that ended up committing that foul for Logan. And it was close as to whether or not it was a 2 or a 3. Again, Mullins' foot was close to that line. But the official, and now now the lead has swelled to 11 for Logan on the scoreboard. And now they get it reset a little bit here, and hopefully we get this fixed quick. And there it is, because the momentum of this game right now is just breathtaking. And Again, Philip Mullins has not scored yet tonight, and what a time to do it.
Do have an upset or an update from Bluefield and Shady Spring. Bluefield defeats Shady 80-64, Chris. 80-64, the Beavers over Shady Spring.
So they win the rubber match of that game. Who's going to take it here as Mullins completes the 4-point play, and we're back to all square at 48 apiece. 3:12 to go. Over left side for Hayner. Bounces in on Mullins. Now back to Early. Drives in, puts up a high floater. No good as Obina came over to disrupt it, and Early nearly threw it into the rafters on that shot. Now here comes Chapmanville, a chance to retake the lead with under 3 minutes to go. Mullins, right side, looking, finds Dalton. Dalton turns, fires it to Scholl. Scholl gets into the right corner, drives baseline, caught in midair, but finds Smith, and a whistle and a kick ball. So it'll stay with Chapmanville with 2:47 to go.
You could not have scripted this game any better if you're a sports fan here in the southern coalfields of West Virginia.
Obina will inbound, find Scholl. Back up top for Dalton, under 2:43 now to go. Brody Dalton up against Early, finds Mullins. Early switches on to him. Mullins retreats back as Chapmanville getting reset. Mullins up against 5-second count, now able to get it reset as he gives it to Obina. Now back to Mullins. He'll jack a three from the right wing. No good. Rebounded underneath, taken by Williamson as he barely stayed in bounds but was able to tightrope it. And now here comes Williamson up the floor, a chance for Logan to retake the lead. The cross-court pass almost stolen by Dalton, and a timeout by Zach Green with 2:16 to go here in the fourth. He'll take a full timeout. We'll do it as well. Back in 60 seconds as you're watching the sectional championship with us right here on WVOW and on Video Productions.
No regrets. If only she'd parked in a garage. If only they had the chimney cleaned. If only they had Erie Insurance. Erie is seriously good insurance that treats you fairly and goes above and beyond to make you feel like your auto or home mishap never happened, at rates that'll save you as much as the other guys. So get a quote from Erie today. Because whatever your regrets in life, your insurance company shouldn't be one of them.
As I was coming up the hill, the woman come into my lane and hit me head on.
She was from out of town, driving her boyfriend's rental car on a suspended license.
Steering wheel airbag, everything went off, and I mean, it just tore me up pretty good.
We know the law, did the research, and Joe got paid.
They didn't just treat me like, well, you're just another client. No, they treated me more like family. They did a lot, more than I ever thought they could do.
Farmer Klein and Campbell is the way to go. Call 252-5990.
48-48, your score here. 2:16 to go in the fourth quarter. Chris Kidd and James Barker with you as they inbound it early. Early goes up, loses the ball, taken by Philip Mullins. Now Chapmanville, a chance to retake the lead again on this trip. Out front for Dalton, now to Scholl. We close in on the 2-minute mark of this ball game. Out to Obina. Lost control for a second, gets it back, hands it over to Scholl. Scholl drives right baseline, pull-up jumper. Chapmanville has the lead back.
Beautiful shot by Scholl, a fadeaway in that right corner, and he has just been special here tonight.
They've got two men now running at Early. They get it to Slack, left corner three, no good as it hits over top of the backboard and out of bounds, as Slack has just not had the same touch from the outside tonight as he did the other night against Scott.
And here's what Zach Green is going to do. He's only got one foul Logan has in this half of play, so they can play pressure defense. They can get after the basketball right here and give fouls and not worry about it too much.
As Mullins had it knocked away from behind by Slack that time, almost was able to sneak in and get the steal, but it'll stay with Chapmanville. Yeah, right now, Logan with only that one team foul, as you mentioned, James, as Brad Napper is going to call for a 30-second timeout, so we'll stay here with Chapmanville leading 50-48. But also, if you're Chapmanville, you got to be mindful of the fact, well, I'll tell you, we'll keep things here anyway since we got that little bit of a delay on that. Again, they changed it. I think Chapmanville's out of 30-second timeouts now. But, again, with one team timeout, you can play that pressure defense as well, but if you're Logan, you've also got to be a little mindful that, you know, if you let this get under a minute and you're still trailing in this game, that's going to cause some problems for you not getting Chapmanville out the line. So if you're if you're Zach Green, do you give a few fouls right here just to kind of get the total up in case?
Yeah, I think you're going to see Logan really go after the basketball here for these next 30 seconds. If you get a steal, great. If you don't, you get a foul, and it's okay, just so you have enough to keep it close later on. You bring up that great point, Chris. We do have an update from Poca again. Winfield and Poca 33 all with 27 seconds left in double overtime. So just an absolute, what a great night for high school basketball in the state of West Virginia.
Oh, boy, it just keeps getting better and better. And, man, we've still got Charleston to go this year, guys. As Chapmanville will inbound it to Obina on the right wing. 2-point lead for the Tigers. 1:25 to go now. Cameron Hensley on Obina. Gets it to Smith. Smith trying to get out. They tried to foul him. Now they get it back over to Mullins. 1:15 to go now. Williamson on Mullins. Now they're trying to come out, and there Williamson does give the foul with 1:13 to go as 18 seconds come off the clock. And it looks like Williamson and Mullins maybe had a little something to say after the fact.
Yeah, and that's what you're going to see right now is Brad Napper knows that Logan doesn't have enough fouls right now to put him in a 1-and-1. And Chapmanville with really experienced ball handlers in Phillip Mullins and Andrew Scholl on the floor.
And there Noah Cook now gives the foul after 3 seconds go by. So there will be the third team foul against Logan. And again, smart using some of your players as well that aren't in foul trouble right now. Again, that's the first on Noah Cook. That was just the second on Garrett Williamson. As now they inbound it to Mullins again. Cook trying to reach in here, and there comes the fourth foul as 3 more seconds tick off the clock.
So once you get about the 5 or 6, probably 6 if you're Zach Green, then you go back and you try to play real pressure defense and see if you can draw another turnover.
And Cook now commits another as 2 seconds come off the clock. So Noah Cook picks up his third foul in succession.
Well, we have this lull. It's going to triple overtime in Poca, but between Poca and Winfield. Triple overtime.
And we may get home in time to see the end of that. Now they get it into Mullins as we hit 1 minute to go and another foul here. Or excuse me, 1:02 to go as they're going to get that foul on Aiden Slack. That'll be his first. So now that puts Logan at 16 fouls with 1:02 to go. Chapmanville with a 50-48 lead on the Andrew Scholl baseline jumper just a moment ago. And it'll be Scholl to inbound. Gets it into Dalton, now to Obina. 1 minute to play. Obina out front, and Slack will give the foul, and they'll send Obina to the free throw line to shoot a 1-and-1.
You know, I was really interested to see why they fouled Obina there, Chris. They inbounded the ball to Brody Dalton, the freshman. That would be somebody you would rather see at the line right now if you're Logan rather than Obina.
Obina 2 for 3 from the line tonight. He's got 18 points. The senior sinks the first, all net for Obina and Achille Killen. The first team All-Stater the last 2 years. He's been on the All-Tournament team in the Charleston Civic Center all 3 years here at Chapmanville. A chance to build the lead to 2 possessions, and he does so.
Everybody knows who's Logan's going to try to take this shot here early. Almost lost it.
Gets it up ahead to Cook. Cook on the right wing. He's going to get tied up, but the possession arrow stays with Logan with 51.2 seconds to go. And importantly, Chapmanville has 2 fouls to give here now too, James.
And the score again is off. It should be 52-48, not 51-48. And again,
the Chapmanville cheering section quick to alert them to that over on the far side right now, and now they do fix it to 52-48. But this a pivotal possession for Logan. Again, they were up 48-44, and Chapmanville has scored the last 8.
Brad Napper has said if somebody touches it, if your guy touches it, you're going to foul. As Mullins there picks up his third as he fouls early. And you mentioned it, Chris, those fouls to give now start to make a little bit of play here in both of these teams' strategies.
See, if I was Chapmanville, I'd maybe save one here on this possession in case, but they inbound it early and they foul him quickly. So only about a second goes off the clock. And they're going to get this foul.
Yeah, I agree with you right there, Chris. Is, that puts you right at the bonus now if you're Chapmanville. So Early now can drive and get that contact and know that no matter what, he's going to at least shoot a 1-and-1.
They get it into Williamson, now over to Early. Early in front of the Logan bench. Pump fake, steps back into the corner. 3 in front of Obina. No good. It hit off the side of the basket support. and up into the rafters, and that'll give it back over to Chapmanville with 37.9 seconds to go. Again, Early did all he could to try and shake Obina, but again, probably the best defender in the state of West Virginia refused to give in, and Early had to throw up a wild shot. Now Chapmanville looks to inbound, and Brad Napper calls for time as they were up against the 5-second call. We'll keep things here with 37.9 seconds to go, and Logan now trailing 52-48. But yeah, right there, it was just a very difficult spot for Early. He put on every move he could probably think of to try and get Obina in the air to give him a little separation. Obina just wouldn't allow it, and Early had to put up a very difficult contested shot.
Yeah, and those guys have played and practiced against each other so many times that Obina probably knew what David was going to do there. Obina had kind of given him the baseline, just dared him to drive on him, and Obina kind of knew here comes that step back shot, and David tried to force that in that corner. Another little bit of an upset, Chris. I think a lot of people would think this is an upset. Fairmont Senior defeats North Marion 59-51. North Marion had a great record going in, but Fairmont Senior, your sectional champs, and they'll both play in this co-region. And that's the great thing about tonight, Chris. Both these teams still have a chance to go to Charleston. Man, if we could see a round 4, wouldn't you get your money's worth there as well?
Oh, the Charleston Civic Center's licking their chops already. And to give Bob Bolin, our compatriot here on Video Productions, a little credit, I was doing that Bluefield Fairmont Senior game up there in Bluefield with him a couple Saturdays ago. He looked at me and said, Fairmont will be in the state tournament. So they're one step closer now as they pull off the win tonight. As they inbound it to Obina, Cameron Hensley commits the foul immediately. That's number 4 on him with 36.3 seconds to go. And, you get some people filing out here, but, if Chapmanville misses one of these 1-and-1s here and Logan gets a score again, Chapmanville far and away not out of the woods of this game yet. And Logan, if they can get Early or someone open here, we got a ball game all over again.
I know beating the traffic is rather important because it's kind of cramped up here tonight, but you are seeing two great teams go at it, and this one's not over yet.
Well, now Obina steps back to the free throw line. He hit 2 big 1-and-1s a moment ago. He's got 20 points and sinks the first on this one. 21 now for Anachile Kill. And again, he was 2 of 7 from the line the other night in the sectional semifinal win over Man. Tonight, 5 of 6, make it 6 of 7, and the lead now swells to 6. Logan's got to go in a hurry here, down to 32 seconds, and a reach-in foul on Logan as Early will go to the line as Scholl going to be whistled for the foul. He thought he had hit the ball clean, but instead they'll send Early for a 1-and-1.
Yeah, Scholl incredulous that he had got that foul called on him, and that helps Logan out a whole lot, Chris. You put Early at the line, a good foul shooter on the season. If he can make these 2 and then put the pressure back on the Tigers to make their foul shots, Logan's got a chance.
Now a crucial 1-and-1 for David Early, and he hits the first. That's his first point of the fourth quarter, as he's got 27 points now for the game after that monster third quarter.
We have another issue with the book here between Logan and Chapmanville. And the score we have is 54-49.
Which that is correct. So I don't know if this is over a foul or what at this point. But now they're going to have both teams go over to the bench for a second. And, it seems like every time that we're here, there's always some kind of issue with the score clock here at Mingo Central. I'm not really sure what it may be, and again, I'm not trying to throw blame or anybody on that. It just seems like every time that we're here to do a game, there is some sort of issue with the clock operating.
Well, I will say this, is we've had some issues before. I'm glad Man is going to get a new scoreboard.
Yes, definitely.
In football.
The second free throw, no good, and rebounded by Chapmanville in the corner. Mullins has it, and he's fouled with 29.1 seconds to go, and now the Chapmanville side of the gym starting to feel it, as if Mullins goes to the line and sinks these 2 free throws, that could be all she wrote. This is the last 1-and-1 for the Chapmanville Tigers on the evening, and Mullins, who really may have saved the sectional for Chapmanville with that 4-point play when they trailed at 48-44. His free throw no good. So Logan's still with a pulse here. As here comes Logan back the other way. Early pull up three in front of Obina. No good off the front rim. It looked good all the way but came out. Rebound fought for, saved by Logan into the hands of Scholl, and he's fouled from behind by Cameron Hensley. And now Scholl and Hensley with words. And Scholl not happy about the foul, and Hensley fouls out of this game with 17.9 seconds to go. And that's what I said, Cameron Hensley plays with so much emotion. If he can learn to harness that and be able to control himself on the floor, he is going to be a dynamic player these next 2 years for Logan.
Yeah, Scholl upset. Hensley just trying to give his team a chance there at the end of the game. He grabbed Scholl from behind, and that's why you got that foul. But, you know, you put your senior at the line right now. It's going to be 2 shots for Chapmanville. They don't have the number 10 team foul up on the scoreboard right now. So Scholl with 2 shots at the line, Chris, and a chance to really put this game away if he makes both and make it a 3-possession game.
And he buries the bottom of the net with the first one. Scholl with 16 points tonight, 3 of 3 from the line, and really helped save Chapmanville in that second quarter with Mullins and Obina on the bench with foul trouble, and he buries both. The lead up to 7 now. 17 seconds to go. Early across the timeline, drives in. Chapmanville won't foul as Early lays it in. And now timeout called with 9.9 seconds to go. Logan wants a few more seconds put back on the clock.
You know, Chris, this game was so important. Everybody wanted to avoid going to Poca and playing the Polka Dots in Poca for a regional championship. The update right now is Winfield leading Poca 39-36 with under a minute to go in triple overtime.
Oh, wow. Yeah, talk about maybe an interesting result after this. Oh, no, James.
Oh, we have a final. Unreal final. Poca comes back, 5-0 run to win the game, 41-39 in triple overtime.
God.
So the loser here tonight will indeed travel to the Dot Dome and play the Polka Dots.
My goodness. I was about ready to say, if you're Logan and you're unable to come back here, I said that's a nice little parting gift, and you get into the locker room that you don't have to go back to Poca. You get a chance to play Winfield, which is a much more favorable matchup, you would figure. But now, wow, unbelievable. I mean, Winfield let that game get away twice, it sounds like.
Yeah, our hats off to Nick Brockman for the Gazette Mail to give us those updates throughout the night on Twitter. And then Super Dave able to give us those updates from the Bluefield Shady game. And so everybody contributing tonight on tonight's broadcast.
And this has been a wild night here, not just from Mingo Central, but from all over the state, as Logan having to foul here as they get it into Obina, and Slack will commit the foul with 9.7 seconds left and send Obina back to the free throw line to shoot 2 more. Again, he's hit 4 big free throws here in the fourth quarter and 6 of 7 from the line overall. And Chapmanville could be on their way to a date with Winfield in the regional final, where Logan will have to go and exercise some demons from last year against the Dots at Poca as Obina misses on the first.
You know, right now, if you're Chapmanville, you got to make this foul shot. But if you're Logan, if you get a miss here and a 3, you still got a chance.
Obina buries the second free throw. Still a 2-possession game as Early's got to go quick. Gets it into the corner. Slack open for 3. Short. Rebounded by Scholl with 3 seconds. 2 as he'll get by. And that will do it. The Chapmanville Tigers hold on to their crown as they win their 5th consecutive sectional championship, as the Logan Wildcats fought gamely tonight, took the lead into the fourth quarter, but it's Chapmanville winners again here in the section, and now both teams head to the regional with hopes of getting to Charleston and maybe a chance for a 4th meeting between these 2 ball clubs. Well, we'll step aside for a 2-minute break, and when we come back, James and I will recap tonight's action here from Minor Mountain as the Chapmanville Tigers defeat the Logan Wildcats 57-51. You're listening to and watching the championship game with us right here live on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports radio station, and live on Video Productions.
I'm McClellan Campbell. We pride ourselves on providing classic service.
You get a firm that's concerned about you, your family, as well as the legal process.
We combine the newest technology and digital tools
with our 35 years of experience
to help you get more than the insurance company wants to offer.
Traditional service,
contemporary techniques,
It'll never go out of style.
Call 346-5990.
Steve, is that your car?
No, it's a rental.
Most people think that after an accident, you'll have to pay $500 for your deductible. The truth, at Allstate, you could pay $0. Allstate gives you $100 off your deductible the day you sign up. Then another $100 off every year you don't have an accident. Let the good hands reward your safe driving with a deductible that goes away. Now that you know the truth, are you in good hands?
Patrick Ellis and his staff at Southern West Virginia Physical Therapy has been providing patients with quality physical therapy since 2003. At Southern West Virginia Physical Therapy, they are committed to providing their patients with exceptional care in a compassionate and friendly environment. You're not just a number, you're part of their family. Southern West Virginia Physical Therapy, your health, your choice, our priority.
Welcome back, everybody. 57-51, Logan falls to Chapmanville here tonight in the sectional championship game. Chris Kidd and James Barker here with you. And James, again, this game saw so many swings and momentum again. Chapmanville jumps right out of the gate and socks Logan in the mouth, leading it 8-0 right away. And then Logan sees the game swing. They're able to stave off that momentum from Chapmanville. Then Mullins and Obina get 2 fouls. Logan can't get the lead from Chapmanville in the second quarter. Then Chapmanville gets out to a 7-point lead in the third quarter, early with 3 fouls. Then it seems like Chapmanville's going to run away with it once they get up by 8. Then David Early goes off. Logan goes on an 11-0 run, takes their first lead of the game. Then they get up 48-44. Looks like Logan's got control of this game. A 4-point play, and then Chapmanville regains the edge, and they end up staving off Logan right here at the end. You feel like if you had 4 more minutes, maybe this would have swung again another way. But this game was just such a tremendous feat of the mental fortitude of both of these ball clubs and the fight of both these ball clubs. And for some of them to be so young on the floor, this was just a monumental effort by both ball clubs tonight.
Yeah, I think you did a great job recapping all the swings in the game, Chris, because there were so many. You know, it looked like Chapmanville was just going to come out of here and just blow Logan out. And Zach Green and his ball club settled down. They were able to make it a 4-point game after the end of the first quarter, like Chris mentioned. And then from then on, we never really saw a team go beyond an 8-point lead. Chapmanville had that 8-point lead near the end of the third quarter. Then Early goes off, and Logan takes the lead. It was just an epic game between both of these clubs here tonight. And it's a shame that one has to travel to take on the Polka Dots, and that's the Logan Wildcats as they'll travel to Polka as Polka finally defeats Winfield after 3 overtimes.
Gosh.
41-39 as Logan will travel to Polka next Thursday. Chapmanville will host Winfield next Thursday night in Chapmanville. So those regional co-finals are set for the Tigers and the Wildcats. And, you know, if Charleston could some way get Logan and Chapmanville to have a rematch round 4 in the Civic Center this year, you would have to turn out every light and all the street lights in Logan County because everybody would be there.
What was funny was before I came up here tonight, you know, our tennis team was having practice at the rec center. It was a ghost town at the rec center. I mean, nobody was there except for us. I mean, normally even on a Friday afternoon or Friday evening, you're going to have a lot of people there working out, doing whatever. There was nothing, no how. Even the people working looked like they were ready to leave at one point to get home for this game tonight or to get up here for the game tonight. And that's just what basketball means in this area. If you're watching from out of area and you're uncertain, I mean, this is what Southern West Virginia is about, whenever it comes to sports, especially high school basketball. And this game, You know, you got people lining up outside in the rain and the snow at like 4:30 and 5 o'clock, and the gates don't even open for another hour yet. I mean, it's just incredible, and that's why, you know, you and I both, we like a lot of people, are really, really hoping that both of these two will find a way to get by their ball games on Thursday night and get back to the Charleston Civic Center. I mean, because so many storylines are up for grabs. You know, Logan hasn't been to the state tournament since 2012. Chapmanville, on the other hand, they've been to 4 straight state tournaments, 3 straight state finals, 2 straight state titles, trying to be the first Logan County team ever to win 3 consecutive titles. I mean, will David Early make it to Charleston? Would it be his first time there to play in it? You know, there's so much stuff that's at stake and so many things that we want to talk about once we get there. So we're both going to be really rooting hard for the Wildcats and Tigers Thursday night.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. And I think you say that for everybody in video productions and all across the Southern Coalfields, that, you know, now Chapmanville fans are Logan fans and Logan fans are Chapmanville fans, just so we could see maybe and hopefully that 4th and final rematch between these two clubs this year, because all 3 matchups so far have been incredible. You know, that Logan win in Logan early in the season between Logan and Chapmanville shouldn't go overlooked. That was a game that Logan just jumped out to a huge lead and kept Chapmanville at bay the entire game. So what a great finish here tonight for the Tigers, able to pull off the victory. And, you know, they haven't been easy over Logan like in maybe some years past, Chris. This Logan team, very, very good, very young group as well. You know, I know they lose David Early and it's hard to replace him, but this is a very young group for Logan when you have Williamson, the freshman, Slack as well, Glick, the sophomore that started most of the year for the Wildcats. This is a Logan team that's going to be around for a while, and you know, this is just been such a great atmosphere for both clubs here tonight, and we hope that we can see it again.
James, I just added up the scoring again. You look at all 3 games, 72-61 Logan, 60-55 Chapmanville, 57-51 Chapmanville. We're all tied at 178-178 between these two over these 3 games this season. That is how tight this rivalry has been this year.
That's why they pay you the big bucks, Chris, to figure out that math like that.
To do basic math, yes. That's why I make all that money anyway. But anyway, we're going to step aside for our final break, and when we come back, we'll recap tonight's action here from Minor Mountain as you are listening to and watching the sectional championship game with us right here live on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports radio station, and live on Video Productions.
Candidate who fought the bad guys
and helped the good guys.
Bill Wooten is the only retired colonel.
Only Bill Wooten is supported by labor and business,
Democrats and Republicans, the best hugger and the best granddad.
Only one more thing to say. If you honor me with your vote, I'll serve you with honor.
That's a wrap.
Do you need to see a doctor fast? At Logan Regional Medical Center Primary Care Walk-In Clinic, we know your time is valuable. Our new facility is designed to provide patients with the opportunity to walk in and quickly be seen by the doctor without having to make an appointment. We are open Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. at 384 Airport Road in Chapmanville. For more information, please call 304-239-8090.
Kinzel Law Office is a local firm located at 36 Adams Street in Chapmanville. Rob Kinzel has been practicing law in Logan County for over 15 years and is dedicated to providing quality legal representation for personal injury, criminal defense, and family law for individuals and families throughout southern West Virginia. Call Kinzel Law Office today to set up your free consultation. Rob Kinzel, Quality legal services close to home.
57-51, Chapmanville wins it here tonight over the Logan Wildcats to win their 5th consecutive sectional championship and their 6th in the last 7 years. Chris Kidd and James Barker with you. It's time now for our Temp Control Hot Hand of the Game, brought to you by Temp Control of Chapmanville. And tonight's hot hand goes to Obina Anachille Killen of Chapmanville and David Early of Logan. Obina leading Chapmanville with 23 points on the evening, and David Early leading Logan in all scores with 29 points on the night. They are your Temp Control Hot Hand of the Game award winners. And this winter, if you want your home to be as comfortable as possible, call Stuart Trickler and Roland Mullins at Temp Control of Chapmanville at 304-855-5200. Well, let's look at the final scoring on both sides tonight. As we mentioned for Logan, David Early leading all scores with 29 points, followed by Mitchell Hayner with 8 points. Then you have Garrett Williamson with 5 points, Aiden Slack with 4 points, Noah Cook with 3 points, and Cameron Hensley with 2 points to round out the scoring for Logan. On the other end for Chapmanville, leading the way for them was Obina with 23 points. Andrew Scholl, just another big game for him, 17 points on the evening. Then you had Brody Dalton with 8 points, huge contribution from him tonight for the Tigers. Isaiah Smith with 5 points, and Phillip Mullins with 4 points. Then you look 6 3-pointers for Logan, 5 3-pointers for Chapmanville. Logan 5 of 7 from the free throw line tonight. Chapmanville a crucial 12 of 15 from the charity stripe here this evening after they had a couple of tough outings earlier this year. Well, James, we got another award to give out now here on Video Productions. Take it away.
Yeah, it's time now for the Farmer Klein and Campbell Player of the Game. And really, Chris, you could have given it to a few people tonight, but the guy for the Tigers that never stepped foot off the floor tonight and really was the catalyst in that second quarter to keep Chapmanville ahead going into halftime, and that's Andrew Scholl. Scholl with just an amazing game. Huge mid-range game tonight for Andrew Scholl, but really what separated him from everybody else tonight was that second quarter, Chris. Kept Chapmanville in the game and kept Logan at bay and allowed the Tigers to take that 3-point lead into halftime. And you and I talked during the break. We thought that was a crucial point in the game tonight.
I do. I think that was as monumental a moment in the game as any. I mean, you had about a dozen or more, it seemed like, in this contest. But, you know, when Chapmanville was able to hold that lead with Obina and Mullins out of the game and most of their second string in the game and a lot of young players in the game for Chapmanville, that was a big moment. But, again, both teams fought back so hard tonight at different moments and crucial moments of this game. I mean, just hats off to Brad Napper and Zach Green and both their coaching staffs for putting them in this moment, preparing them for this moment here tonight. And, well, James, final question before we go. Again, we get a couple days off and let all this sink in before regional finals approach. Logan heads to Poca, trying to right what they felt was the wrong last year in that upset loss to the Dots. Can they solve the four corners offense of Alan Osborne and company? They did it earlier this year, winning in double overtime, 45-40, or excuse me, wasn't 45-40, but David Early had 42 points in the game and hit the game-winning layup at the end. It was Chapmanville that beat Poca 45-40 earlier this year in another tight game. Chapmanville gets a Winfield team that they beat quite handily at Chapmanville just a couple of weeks ago that you had primarily the call of. I snuck in and did the last half of it with you. So Chapmanville going to be the prohibitive favorite to get back to Charleston. Once again, Logan, can they go to Poca and exercise those demons on Thursday night? You know,
Nathan Bush has talked about the David Early revenge tour all year long.
Yeah.
Well, you know, he got that big win over Poca that had kind of miffed him all his career. But right now it matters most. And Early the Wildcats couldn't pull off the victory in the sectional against Chapmanville tonight. Can David Early and his Logan Wildcat Club go into Poca, into a hostile environment, and knock off Poca to head back to Charleston? I'm not going to bet against him. I know that much. I'm not going to bet against these Wildcats and Zach Green's well-coached ball club. I think Logan can do it. It would be a huge upset on the other side of Region 4 if Winfield comes into Chapmanville and knocks them off. Even a bigger upset than if Winfield would have beat Poca tonight. So, you know, the Generals have their work cut out for them. This is a Chapmanville team that kind of lives for these moments, and it would give these seniors the right way and the send-off the right way to head back into Charleston.
And again, we'll be there rooting on both ball clubs. Again, we'll wait to see where we get sent to announce the games next Thursday night. But either way, we'll be really putting on our gold and blue and orange and black, hoping to see both teams in Charleston to hopefully do this for a fourth time between each other this season. But what a three-game stretch we've had between these two this year. We're so thankful that we get to do this. We're so thankful that you've been with us for this here tonight on what has been a special evening from Minor Mountain. So 57-51, your final score yet again here from Mingo Central High School. For Demi Atkins, our camera operator here tonight on video productions, and Joe Mounts, our engineer on video productions, Terry Bucklew, our engineer back in the WVOW studios. For James Barker next to me, I'm Chris Kidd saying so long tonight here from Mingo Central High School as we now send things out to Basketball Friday night with Joe Linville, Ryan Epling in the gang, as you have been listening live and watching live with us right here on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports radio station, and live on video production.